All right, guys, welcome back to another show. On today's show, I wanted to talk about Casey Anthony. Did she get away with murdering her own daughter? As you know, she was acquitted on those murder charges. Now, she's back in the news. She is going through a bankruptcy case here, and Dominic Casey, he had some things to say. Now, if you don't know who Dominic Casey is, he worked as a private detective for the Casey Anthony defense team. Now, he's revealing some information here. Now, I want to get right into it. And after I get into it, I'm going to ask you again, did she get away with murder? Because that's what it seems like here. Now, I'm just going to read this here. It says, Casey Anthony was seen running naked through her defense attorney, Jose Baez, office in 2008. And on another occasion, Baez told her that she owed him 3 oral sex sessions, according to recently filed court documents in the Casey Anthony bankruptcy case. Now, again, those claims and many others are contained in an affidavit filed by Dominic Casey. I just mentioned him earlier. Again, he once worked as a private detective for her defense team. Now, he went on to say this. I thought this was pertinent to the case and what I wanted to discuss today. It says he talked about a story here. He said Baez had scheduled a television interview that night. Dominic Casey wrote in his affidavit, recalling September 5th, 2008. She did not want to do the interview and asked Baez to call and cancel. He called the network. They're not saying which network it was, but saying that they would have to take a rain check. He hung up the phone and he said to Casey, "You owe me 3 blowjobs." Yeah, that's what Dominic Casey is saying here. Now, a couple of weeks later, Dominic Casey said the misconduct between Casey and Baez had escalated, according to a filing pulled from the online court records. Now, this is all public information. You can go do your research on it. Now, it says here, I arrived at Baez's office unexpectedly one day and once again witnessed a naked Casey Anthony. This is what Dominic Casey wrote. This time she ran from his private office through the conference room to the hallway, and he's saying she was naked. Now, Dominic Casey went on to say that he told Casey Anthony that she cannot allow him to continue engaging in this behavior. Now, Casey told me that she had to do what she had to do, and she had to also do what Jose said because she had no money for her defense. Now, this is again all according to the affidavit. Now, he said that he reminded her that Baez had more than enough money from the network he sold the photographs to pay for her defense. Casey apologized and assured me it would never happen again. Now, Baez, who continues to operate a law firm in Orlando and Miami, denied all of Dominic Casey's claims filed in the court case. Now, he's saying he categorically is denying exchanging any sex for legal services for Miss Anthony. This is what Jose Baez is saying. Now, one of the news networks, they checked and learned that the Florida bar has not received a complaint and is not conducting an investigation at this particular time in connection with Dominic Casey's claims. Now, in 2008, Dominic Casey terminated his services for the Baez law firm, but his involvement in the case continued through 2011, when Casey Anthony, then 25 years old, went on trial for the murder of her 2-year-old daughter, Caylee Marie Anthony. Casey Anthony was ultimately not found guilty on the murder charge. Now, her 12-member jury also found her not guilty of aggravated child abuse and aggravated manslaughter of a child, but they did find her guilty of lying to law enforcement. Now, this is also important. Dominic Casey alleges in an affidavit that Casey and Baez knowingly and purposefully made false statements about me and portrayed me as being involved in a conspiracy with George and Cindy. Now, Anthony and Roy Crunk to conceal Caylee Marie Anthony's body. Now, the bankruptcy judge in Tampa is trying to determine whether Anthony's bankruptcy would protect her from having to pay Crunk if he were to win the judgment against her in a defamation case. Now, Dominic Casey also claims he provided evidence suggesting that Caylee Anthony had accidentally drowned in the Anthony's family backyard pool, and Casey panicked and later dumped the child's body. That's what he's claiming here. And a version of that story floated as a defense theory during the Casey Anthony trial, especially during Baez's opening statements. But the theory was never fully developed at trial. Now, Baez said that the former investigator has a history of making outrageous claims to both the media and in court proceedings. His current claim, Bias added, is in line with many other outrageous claims and theories that this individual has advanced regarding the Casey Anthony case. Now, Bias, he also went on the defense as well. Here, he said that more than after 5 years of this case, after 5 years that the case ended, he claims that her lawyer knew that Casey Anthony had killed her daughter. Now, again here it says more than 5 years after the jury in Florida cleared Casey Anthony in the murder of her 2-year-old daughter, Caylee. A private investigator claimed that the mom, which is Casey Anthony, admitted that she killed the girl and hid her body. Now, again, I'm not going to read everything. You can go online and research it. But like I said, she was eventually acquitted of killing her daughter, but she was found to have lied to police. Now, I'm asking you, did she get away with murder? Because it seems like I always thought that she killed her daughter. Like I said, I wasn't there, but that was just my feeling when I was watching that case. Now, I know this case is very old. A lot of you may not remember the case, but you can go back and actually do your research. I mean, maybe some of you know about this case, but it's just, I remember when the verdict came out, I still remember where I was. I was at work and everybody was listening to, everybody was huddled in this, in the area where we eat, and they were huddled around the TV and we were watching the verdict. And when they said not guilty, you should have saw the faces. They was like, what? Everybody knew she killed her daughter. Everybody knew it, but she got off. And I always say to people, whatever you do in the darkness will come to light eventually. Whatever you do, if you're a liar, whatever you do is eventually it's just going to come out. That's like, for me, it's like the law of nature. It's like it's going to come out eventually. And now this is coming out in her bankruptcy case. He's saying that her lawyer, now get this, her lawyer, she didn't have enough money, but he's saying, well, you owe me 2 blowjobs. And how is he still a lawyer? I'm sorry that this didn't come out earlier. And why did he wait to now to bring this out? I don't know. I'm going to leave that up to your judgment on why he did that. I would think he should have came out with this during the, as this was happening. He should have went to someone and said, hey, this guy, they have an inappropriate, there's some inappropriate activity going on. He should have reported back then. But, double jeopardy, she can't get charged again for this case. So it's like she got away with murder. In my opinion, I think she did it, just following the trial. And it was just my gut feeling, man. I really think she killed her daughter and she tried to hide and tried to cover her tracks. I mean, she had a good lawyer in Jose Bias. He did a great job in painting this narrative and the jury bought it pretty much. But I really honestly believe she got away with murder. Now you can go, it's trending, it's in the news. You can go research it for yourself. I'm not going to read everything. This video is already too long, but again, did she get away with murder? That's what I'm asking you. I really feel like she got away with murder. I don't know. That's just my opinion. I mean, he's saying that she was in her lawyer's office running by naked. What does that sound like to you? That sounds like something inappropriate going on, of course. And the thing is, Dominic Casey, I don't know why he didn't come out with this earlier. But, then again, you got to think about it. He was being paid. He was a private investigator. Maybe he just didn't want to hurt his bottom line, but now it's coming up now. It's like, dude, why didn't you bring this up earlier? Possibly she could have went to jail here. But I think murderer got away. I think she murdered her daughter, Caylee. I really do. But again, why don't you? I urge you to read the story, come up with your own opinion on it, and let me know what you think about it. Until next time, take care.